Samuel was fed up with Charles's incessant calls to Deborah. It was like he was beating a dead horse. Samuel had to intervene before things got out of hand. Samuel issued a warning to Purity against Charles, hoping it would put an end to the unwanted attention. Little did he know, Charles had already made up his mind. Samuel thought that by warning Purity, Charles would stop calling Deborah. But Charles's mind was made up, and nothing could change it. Purity put up a call to Charles, and that call was the final nail in the coffin. Their relationship was beyond repair. Charles only cared about his 3 daughters through Deborah, and Purity felt deserted, like a ship without an anchor. Deborah had no pity for Purity. She knew she was reaping the fruit of her deed. You sow what you reap, after all. Purity's world began to crumble around her. She had brought it upon herself, but it was hard not to feel sorry for her. Charles's new life was already taking shape. Charles was into another relationship with a woman in his office, and Purity was just a footnote in his past. It was a bitter pill to swallow. When Deborah brought the pictures of Charles's wedding with another woman in the town, it was like pouring salt on an open wound. Purity's reaction was instantaneous. She collapsed down from the wheelchair, like a house of cards in a gust of wind. She felt like she was watching a train wreck in slow motion as Purity's life fell apart. Samuel's warning had come too late. The damage was already done. Purity's call to Charles had sealed her fate. There was no going back. Charles's indifference was like a cold shower, a harsh reality check for Purity. Deborah's lack of her pity was understandable. Purity had brought it upon herself. One wondered what Purity thought as she lay in the hospital bed, her life slipping away. Had she realized too late the consequences of her actions? The pictures of Charles's wedding had been the final blow, a cruel reminder of her failed relationship. Purity's collapse had been a dramatic moment, a fitting end to her tragic story. As one looked back on the story, he realized that Purity's mistakes had been a cautionary tale. They must be careful not to let jealousy and resentment consume them. Charles's new marriage was like a new beginning, a chance to start anew. But would he learn from his past mistakes? Deborah's heart had softened towards the children. She had agreed to let them stay temporarily. It was a small glimmer of hope in a tragic story. Purity's demise had been a long time coming. She had sown the seeds of her downfall. Now, she was reaping the harvest, a bitter fruit of her own making. Charisse felt a sense of sadness as Purity's story came to an end. She had made her choices, and now she was facing the consequences. The story of Purity and Charles was a reminder that our actions have consequences. They must be mindful of their choices and their impact on others. Purity's story was a tragic tale of love, jealousy, and loss. It was a story that would stay with him for a long time. A reminder of the dangers of unchecked emotions and the importance of forgiveness. Purity's life had been a complex web of relationships and emotions. Her downfall had been a gradual process, a slow descent into darkness. Now, it was too late for regrets. Purity had given up the ghost. The hospital room was a cold, sterile environment, devoid of hope. Purity's life had slipped away, a tragic end to a story that could have had a different ending. As he closed the chapter on Purity's story, he couldn't help but wonder what the future held for Deborah and Charlie's children.